Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, they're holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on fire. Time for a girl on fire. Time for a
I forgot to hit the button, I said. Hi, guys. I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you for joining me for a late night, date night over on the West Coast. I mean, it's only 7:20. So, Mac. I'm ready. Not Ladylike is here. I saw Mikey a little bit earlier. I'm so glad that you guys are all here. Thank you for joining me. I had to pick the title of the show today before I knew what we were going to watch. As is life some days. So, I don't know what this court is about. I honestly don't. I didn't listen a little bit. West Coast is in Vancouver. Vancouver Island, even better. Humble brag, baby. Anyways, what was I saying? I was distracted by Cellulite Yoga Pants being a great mod. Thank you so much for that. But yes, we are doing... Oh, yeah. I was distracted because I need to... drink my energy drink. Soon. I need to drink it soon. Okay, we need to travel by flu powder. Hold on. Here we are, baby. And then, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hi, Christopher Engleby. It's so nice to see you. That's awesome. Thank you. You are such a great supporter of the channel, Christopher, and it's always nice to see you. I hope you're not working too hard. But I know you probably are. Judge?
Mr. Hyde, I see is present. Thank you.
Judge, you're
And
going to have
Mr.
to pick it
Gurley,
up.
good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
I don't see anybody by the name of your client on our calendar today.
Okay, well, that unfortunately happens all too often. I will check in courtroom 1.
Okay,
or 2.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll start with Bobby Joe Quiros and Robert Ward.
Baba Joe!
Ward, come on up.
Baba Joe! Also, I haven't eaten yet. Terrible mistake. That's a terrible mistake. But Cellulite Yoga Pants rolled a 69.
Just right here at the table is fine.
Also, I took a Discord call today and the ringtone was like Halloween.
And Ms. Quiros and Mr. Ward, if you would each raise your right hands for me, please. You swear the testimony in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
I do.
Thank you. And Ms. Quiros, make sure you speak up. I barely heard that. I do. So You work at a medical clinic, is that right?
I do, sir.
Okay, and Mr. Ward was a patient at that clinic?
He was.
And in the course of being a patient to that clinic, he has he's currently banned from the clinic, is that right?
Yes, he is, sir. He's been removed completely as a patient.
Bad sign.
And that was because of allegations that he had threatened to shoot people, threatened to gut people. And he was banned from the clinic, and he still apparently is sending texts. Is that accurate?
He has called the clinic on numerous occasions. He is still trying to contact to get refills on medications. Even after he was trespassed and he was contacted by the Ole PD Police Department, he has still tried to contact the clinic by calling.
Okay, and when was the last call in your recollection?
The last, he left a voicemail. The last one was on October 9th.
Okay,
Just before I was.
yeah, I'll get to you.
What a apropos case for the week of Halloween, right, Mikey? They scheduled this one. They had it in the pipeline for a while. She's even wearing her Mickey Mouse
And you
Halloween
were served
scrubs.
sometime after the 9th of October, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ward? Your thoughts?
May I come up closer, sir? I have a hearing disability.
Sure.
This is the gutter?
Were you able to hear what Ms. Kuros said?
Yes,
Okay, so what would you like to tell me?
completely deaf in my left ear, so I.
That's fine.
Turn this way,
Yeah.
sir. I need to tell you a bit about my physical condition because it bears on this. I've never been a defendant before. I have never been in court except to testify in expert witness in real estate cases many years ago.
Okay, so let me clarify. You're not a defendant. This isn't a criminal case. You're what's called a respondent on somebody's petition for a protection order.
All right, I'm here because I think this petition should be withdrawn
And why is that?
because it is based on false information and misunderstandings and exaggerations in the reports.
So let me just stop you. Do you think, well, first of all, is it your assumption that I have the power to order the clinic to allow you to return to them as a
No, sir.
patient?
No, sir, no, sir. I do not assume that, and I have no intention of ever going back to that clinic again or seeing anyone in multi-care again. You have my word on that. And also, Bobby, you have my, where is she?
She can see you.
Okay, you have my word, Bobby, that I will never disturb you or anyone else, and in fact, I never have. Here is, first of all, I want you to understand that I have a lot of things wrong with me. I'm 85 years old, and I suffer from a multitude of maladies. Here is my doctor list. By terminating me at multi-care, they eliminated my primary care physician, my cardiologist, the endocrinologist that treats my diabetes, my urologist. I have several urinary tract problems. I am incontinent. I have to wear diapers. I have ear, nose, and throat specialist at multi-care that treats me for my hearing loss. I have a neurology and a hematologist. In total, this action has terminated seven of my primary care physicians in these various categories. In addition to that, I have all of these doctors that are heart surgeons, gastroenterologists, orthopedics, orthodontics, and radiology. And I've had neurosurgery in my brain. Dr. Vieira, Dr. Bees, and Dr. Abized have done skull surgery on me. So I'm suffering from number one, the hearing loss. And that is the most important thing I want to get across to you and to Bobby,
Okay, she can see you.
who have always liked and gotten along with. I've been going to this clinic, what's the name? I've been going there ever since it opened. My primary doctor that I talk to is Dr. Kennedy, my cardiologist at Multicare. And he treats me for a multitude of things. They've done 2 heart operations on me. I have had multiple passing out episodes. They call it syncope. And I've had to go to the hospital once in the ambulance. They're having a hard time explaining these things, but they can.
Okay, so let's relate this to their request for this protection order.
All right.
Yay! Sorry, I was like, why did this fucking video end after a certain amount of time? It probably just expired. Hi Hector, and thank you so much, NPC. And for the bread lyrics earlier, I love it. Oh my god, you guys are killing me now. Gluten-free dino nuggets, risotto, and corn. Ugh, yum. I'm starving. And then, but was Patrick doing like I think a Forrest Gump shrimp funny? That's what I thought, Patrick. Yeah, why is the judge allowing him to stand there? I've seen bad things happen. He might not look like a crazy dude, but he might be a crazy dude. The bread thing is just, I got this hat. It's from the King Arthur Flour Company, I think. That's their name, or King Arthur Baking.
Take all these drugs. This is the number of drugs I take every day.
We love drugs.
2 pills every day. I sleep with a CPAP machine. You know what that is.
We know what that is.
Without it, I wake up and I don't even know where I am, and I am not rested because I haven't slept. I only thought I had. I've only recently gone on the CPAP machine. The absence of sleep causes personality changes in me. I have diabetes, and sometimes I can control it, sometimes I can't. My blood sugar swings when they get too high or too low, affect my mood and my attitude and my method of speech. And I want you to understand that. Here is a problem list from one of my doctors: diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, anxiety, Stokes Adams syndrome, that's the passing out. Whatever these things, CAD, coronary artery disease. I've had 2 heart operations. The main problem here is I'm sure you've read these complaints and things.
I have.
And the words that appear repeatedly are loudly and yelling. And I want to explain to you that I was not yelling. I was not being loud. To the perception of the listener, perhaps, but not to me. And the reason for this is I have a kind of hearing. This is not normal old age hearing loss. What I have is I had an explosion in my ear, and my eustachian tube is apparently disconnected, and they can't fix it. I've seen 3 ear doctors about this, and they keep trying to treat it. One doctor charged me $6,000 to put in steroid injections. Medicare paid for most of it.
If you want to know what it feels like to work in retail, take this conversation. Imagine that he is standing 6 to 8 inches in front of your face and talking about something obscure and unrelated to what you are there for. That is exactly what it's like. This entire conversation is something I feel like I've heard before. Legal fiction.
The hearing loss thing means that I can't hear myself. Most people don't know about this, but people who can't hear themselves. So I speak loudly so that I can hear myself. The person on the other end of the conversation thinks I'm yelling at them. This happens all the time. It's not just Bobby. Bobby's wonderful. She's the only person that I really like. In fact, I tried to put these things online. I couldn't do it on the web.
That's okay.
I talked to, we'd like to show you what I said to, hearing loss. I wanted to show you.
Please,
These are the
sir.
charts. Anything below the top.
Yeah, I trust that you have significant hearing loss. I understand the point you're making.
And, so the yelling is pertaining to the
So,
hearing.
right, so let's talk about the words that were heard.
I did not say those words, sir. I am an English major, a student of language with a minor in theater. And I don't talk this way. I would never use the word gut as a verb.
Did you ever threaten anybody at Multicare?
Absolutely not. I did
And-
not. And Bobby knows that I did not. I never threatened her or anyone else.
And why in your mind would somebody perceive that you had?
Because she alleges that I said I'll kill everybody. I'm never going to come back to a doctor again. I was very frustrated.
And what did you say when you were frustrated?
Well, I don't think I said anything that was profane, but I want you to understand that Bobby has been drawing blood for me for over 5 years. I seek her out because
This bitch has been
I
taking my
consider her to
blood.
Be friends. I've known her for over 5 years. There's never been a problem with.
Okay,
Bobby.
so let me just focus you here, Mr. Ward. What did you say? You indicated to me you were very frustrated. What did you say in expression of that frustration?
Well, I probably said something along the lines of what she is alleging. I said, I'm just sick and tired. Well, as you can see from this doctor list, I have 20 doctors.
Right, I
I
saw
have to
that.
go to 3 different, some weeks I have to go to 3 different doctors. 3 different ones, and they're very inflexible on their appointments and they're very hard to get into. I'm trying to find my statement about what I think happened that day. In contrast to Bobby's description of the same meeting.
Okay, so let me ask you another question. Ms. Kuros indicates that you had been banned from Multicare because of this incident and perhaps others, and that you continued to contact Multicare after being told not to. Talk
No.
to me about that.
No, yes, I can explain that.
Okay,
I lost my cane. Very important to me. I have several other ailments I haven't even mentioned to you. And I presumed I had left it in Bobby's office, in Bobby's lab office. And the reason I called the clinic, I knew none of this, you understand. All of this happened before there was any of these orders issued or the police contacted. I was calling the clinic to ask Bobby if I left my cane in her office. And that was all. That was all. Only reason. So you haven't seen this because I have been unable to, as I said, upload it to the file. But if I just read this, it's only a paragraph.
go ahead and read that one paragraph.
It says, this is directed to Dr. Kennedy, my cardiologist at the clinic. It says, you and I had a wonderful meeting in your office on Thursday, 18 September. I jokingly said I deserved the Nobel Prize for curing my diabetes. You demurred and ordered a series of blood tests. I departed without speaking to anyone, as it was late in the day. My appointment was at 4:30. The clinic closes at 5. And everyone had left. I was happy, as I always am, when I see you. Dr. Kennedy is my primary doctor, and we are good friends. He's been my cardiologist for over 10 years at 3 different clinics. The following Wednesday, 4 days after this appointment, I went to my 3 p.m. hematology appointment for my regular infusion of B12 and iron. Always a bad experience because most of the people in there are getting chemotherapy.
Okay.
Chairs. And so anyway, I said, to subdue my anxiety, I ingest 1/2 of a Xanax before entering. I always feel great after those shots. B12 shots make me feel good. I have anemia, and I have to have regular, and pills don't work. I took pills for years, and for some reason they don't work, so they just start giving me shots. I have to go in and get a shot every 2 weeks. The iron is only about once a month, and they're tapering that off. But anyway, I always feel great. As I left that clinic, which is about 2 blocks from Pulse Institute, that's where we all go, I decided to swing by and get the blood draw on my way home. There were several people waiting in the reception area and 2 girls busily talking on the phone behind the counter. I walked past them all in silence and went directly back to the check-in area for the lab. Nobody was present, so I dutifully filled out the regular blue form and put it in the little blue basket. That's the form. I mean, I know the procedure because I have blood draws at least once a month and sometimes twice.
Okay.
And put it in the basket as usual. There was one other blue form in the basket ahead of mine. I stood in place and waited in silence because I know these things don't take long and that Bobby would be with me shortly. There was one other blue form in the basket ahead of mine. I stood in place and waited in silence. An unknown tech came out and escorted the male patient before me back to the lab. Almost immediately, Bobby, my regular hematologist, came out and greeted me warmly, as she always does. As I say, she's been drawing my blood for 5 years, and I always thought we were good friends. Bobby has been doing all my blood draws for several years, and we've become friends. She is diabetic as well, so we talk about that. We talk about dogs and particularly donuts, the food she misses most. She sometimes jokingly asks if I brought her donuts. We joke and laugh a lot together. This is over a 5-year period.
Okay.
She is really the best I've ever known at her job and a genuinely kind person. I always leave in a fine mood because of Bobby. Here comes the important part. As I walked out of your clinic, I spoke to no one. No one. I was only there for a quick blood draw and to get out. It was 5:30 in the afternoon. I did not utter one word to anyone at Pulse on that Wednesday afternoon, except to Bobby inside her small. Not one word. The next day, Officer Heggie of the police department calls and says that Alicia, whom I do not know, sir, has reported me to the police for yelling, making profanities, and making threats. Well, if I made any threats, they were general threats. I didn't threaten any person. Of course, I didn't threaten Bobby.
And what do you mean by general threat?
Well, I said I was upset because my prescriptions weren't being filled, and I have, when you go to
Okay, so let's just focus. What were the general threats?
the general threats were, I said, I'm just going to stop going to doctors and die because I'm sick and tired of all these doctors and all these clinics and all these receptionists. It was just conversation between 2 people who have known each other for years. It never occurred to me that someone would think I was threatened. I've certainly never would threaten Bobby and never did. And
Okay,
she's the one who's applied for this order. I believe she's been coached. They sent me 30 pages. This complaint is 30 pages long, more than 30 pages, describing all sorts of things. Some of them don't apply to me, of course, children, custody,
right.
guns, and things like that. And So I wrote 3 emails. All of this is before I was contacted by the police. I wrote 3 emails to Dr. Kennedy. And I wish you could read them, sir. I said,
Judge, get a
Some
fucking
horrible
handle on
mistake.
this. What the absolute fuck is going on? I am livid. Why is he standing so close to you? Why are you letting him talk like this? What the actual fuck? No, we can't skip it, Brooklyn, because we don't know when the good part starts and we don't know what's happening. I know he's old, but it doesn't mean that you get to stand up there. He's talking just fine. He would be fine. And he was able to hear her just fine sitting down, so he would be able to hear the judge just fine. He's meandering. Oh, God. Really, Bill? Fuck. Fuck. Fuck.
understanding has occurred. A person in your office named Alicia has called the police department. Additionally, Alicia has unilaterally banned me from all multi-care clinics without reason. The police officer directed me to call Alicia. That's why, and I have his statement telling me to do that. That's why I called the clinic, because the police officer told me to call her. Also, I was trying to locate my cane. That's why I asked for Bobby. Did I leave my cane in your office? Was all I wanted to say to her. I hadn't been contacted by the police or thrown out of the clinic or any of that. I believe this Alicia woman, for some reason, has a vendetta for me. And I believe that this entire statement by Bobby was written and coached and was a collaboration with this Alicia person. But I didn't know who was accusing me. I told him here in this email, who is accusing me? Where did this alleged offense occur? Who saw this? Can they describe the offender? These are valid questions. Please ask an independent person to investigate. I'm talking about the clinic manager or the district manager, someone like that. These girls at the front desk, Judge, please, they change all the time. There's an accusation in here that I came in 2 days early for my appointment. And the reason for that is they wrote 12/4 on the appointment and Thursday. Well, 12/4 isn't a Thursday. So I didn't know whether to come in on 12/4 or on Thursday. So I went in on 12/4, said, here I am. And they said, your appointment's not for 2 days. And I showed them this card.
Okay.
And she tried, whoever the girl was, tried to take the card away from me. And I said, I wanted to show it to Dr. Kennedy. So I showed it to him and said, I was here 2 days ago. And I said it was the wrong day. And here's the card that shows that. Dr. Kennedy's remark to me was, they've started hiring a bunch of high school girls out there and they don't know what they're doing. He said, anyway, you're here now. So we did that. So I've asked.
Okay, so I'm gonna, we'll bring this to a conclusion here.
Okay, I think Bobby should withdraw this complaint because I didn't do these things. And if I just, my threats were general and they were in the course of a private conversation with Bobby, an old friend of mine and my lab technician for 5 years. It never occurred to me that she would be offended. I did not threaten her, and she will tell you that. I did not threaten any individual at all. I just said, I'm sick and tired of these doctors. I'm sick and tired of these receptionists in this doctor's office. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of taking 22, I take 22 pills every day.
Okay, now you've told me this a number of times.
Plus
So,
I wear this
Yeah.
mask thing.
right, I understand. We've run through the,
It's just maddening.
Sure.
I have nothing else to do but take pills and go to doctor's appointments and puncture my finger, and I wear a monitor on my arm. And every time I go to a doctor, they give me a new pill. And then the next doctor I go to in Seattle says, oh my God, you shouldn't be taking that. Stop taking that. Then, I mean, I have conflicting information from all these doctors. And then I show up at appointments and they say, oh, that's been canceled. You'll have to come back in 2 months, which is the next available appointment. I'm in Seattle and they're telling me this.
okay.
And I can't keep up with all my doctor's appointments. All I do is take pills and take blood pressure readings at home.
All right. So, Mr. Ward, thank you. I understand your frustration. I would be,
Before you talk, Judge, I'm going to say something. Are my boobs real? Yes. Absolutely. I want fake boobs. One day. But these ones are real. Yeah, 22 pills. Fucking lightweight. Fucking lightweight.
very frustrated if that was my life too. So,
Thank you. I think anyone would. I think
Okay.
Bobby, given the circumstances and given the facts and given the benefit of time to think about this, she
Well,
will realize.
okay, I'm gonna give her a chance. So you can go ahead and,
We've had 100 encounters and, well,
okay, no, I'm just gonna send you back to your table there. Thank you, sir.
her statement says very clearly that she never had a problem with me before.
Okay,
And when I left, I said thank you to her and we were very friendly. If you read her statement, you saw that.
I did.
There were
All
no
right.
complaints in that.
Thank you,
statement.
Mr. Ward.
Thank you for your time, sir. I hope I didn't leave anything out. There was so much.
No, I think you covered it. Ms. Kuros, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yes, Your Honor. So starting in July of 2024, Multicare has had Mr. Ward sign more than one behavioral contract for his outbursts and his violence. Obviously,
Okay,
I-
Mr. Ward,
I cannot be coerced into doing anything. I will guarantee you that. I personally, because I am an older woman than the other techs and things, I take care of him because I believe I can handle him as a person. Some of the younger girls, some of the younger techs become very fearful of him because of his voice. I have even told the police officer, he has a very loud, aggressive voice. So don't take it as aggression. But that day in my office, he was more than 20 feet away from me when he was spewing his verbal vomit about gutting everybody in the clinic like a fish, letting them bleed out on the floor, shooting everyone between the eyes, and telling he didn't care if he lived.
Oh my god. Legal fiction, thank you so much. One day. I appreciate that so much. Let's hear. What did she just say? I'm sort of believing her. Like, she seems fed up with this shit. He seems like he's putting on a performance today, being a good old grandpa. Do you think this is somebody's grandpa? Can somebody come get their grandpa, please? Thank you again, legal fiction.
In my office, he was more than 20 feet away from me when he was spewing his verbal vomit about gutting everybody in the clinic like a fish, letting them bleed out on the floor, shooting everyone between the eyes, and telling he didn't care if he lived. He was not going to take any more drugs. He was not going to take any more medications. To me, that's a psychotic episode.
all right.
I did my job. I got him out of the clinic without getting him any more roused up. I went to Alicia, who is the assistant manager for Pulse Cardiology, and I presented her with, this is what happened. He is threatening violence in the clinic. Nobody coerced me. He was notified on 9/25 by Officer Higgins that he was no longer a patient from this facility. He's never used a cane before, Your Honor, so he wasn't looking for a cane. He was on the phone. I was standing next to Alicia when she was talking to Mr. Ward on the phone, and he was saying, why am I lying? I've never said that. Why would Bobby lie about that? I was standing right there listening to his whole conversation. But I had already filed for the restraining order. I shouldn't have to come to work in fear of finding my coworkers or somebody else dead in here and not knowing whether he's going to decide to turn on me.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Quiros.
May I respond, Your Honor?
No, you don't need to. Thank you. All right, I've heard both of you.
Oh, we heard both of them. What? Okay, get your guesses in the chat. If you don't know already, I don't know. I think he's going to put it in place. I think the guy's going to be upset about it. That's what I think. That's what I think's going to happen. What do you think? Put your guesses in the chat. If you're watching later, write a comment about it. And we'll believe you that you were right. You can fire a patient. Yeah, you can. And you can also fire a customer, sort of. Yeah, I'm getting approved vibes here. But, and also, like, maybe he should be in a nursing home where they can coordinate all his care.
Give me your versions of this. Clearly, Mr. Ward is frustrated with the current state of his life at the age of 85 and all the different things he has to do to try to keep adding years on. And it would be frustrating. I understand that. It's hard enough to go to one appointment and much less regular
Hello.
appointments, and many of them. But that's not a basis for the expression that maybe isn't intended at any particular person, but it's just an expression of frustration that involves threats to other people because of one's own frustration with where they are from their health. I am going to grant the request for the order. Mr. Ward, you're to have no contact with Ms. Quiros for the next year at all. You're not to go within 1,000 feet of her workplace or her residence or herself. We'll give you a copy of this order. Ms. Quiros, a copy will be available to you if you contact the court and wish a copy of that.
Thank you,
They
Honor.
just did.
All right, thank you, Ms. Quiros. And Mr. Ward,
Oh,
we'll
he's
get to
not
that
done
copy
yet?
in just a moment, so you can sit tight.
Hi, Courtney. Hi, Adam. Justin. Yeah, they aren't going to put an 85-year-old in jail, but he does need to stop calling there. It sounds like he's got a lot of time on his hands.
1 year.
You can make it to 20 years.
Okay.
20.
What I mean is, I assure Bobby, who's been my friend for a long time, that this was a private conversation.
Okay, you know, and she heard what you said.
What?
She heard what you said. You had explained that earlier. And would you take that to him, Chief?
Who's that kind of blame?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ward, and good luck with all your medical appointments.
Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome. All right, there you go. Thank you. Erica Warren, Jesse Joseph.
Jesse Joseph. Oh my gosh.
All right, if you two would stand for me and raise your right hands, please. Swear that testimony in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right, Ms. Warren, you had previously had a protection order regarding Mr. Joseph, is
I
that
did.
correct? And when did that expire?
August 19th.
Okay, and subsequent to that, Mr. Joseph, I think you said on the 12th of October, you were sitting in your car and you look up and he's at your car?
Right.
And had you done anything to indicate to him that your desire not to have him contact you had changed?
No, I was hoping that I would never see him again.
And
Cellulite yoga pants. I was talking about you today to somebody at work. Tomorrow is going to be early afternoon, approximately maybe like 2:45 Pacific time, which is like 5:45 East. And that's what I think. It'll be an early one. Yay. Thanks as always. Love ya.
Since the 12th of October, has anything happened?
He came by again on October 13th on Monday evening. Knocked on my door, left a 3-page typed letter.
And then subsequent to that, anything since?
No.
Okay. Mr. Joseph, anything you want to say?
Yes. I did stop by her residence because the prior incident, I felt like I should make amends somehow. And
Wait, didn't we see them a year ago? Last August? I'm positive. Cause not a week goes by where we don't. I know Hector and I can't help it. I'm trying. But we watch these all the time. He was here. I remember this dude. Was he the one that drove by our house or something all the time? I'll try and bump the volume.
in that letter, I did leave $300 and the letter itself. Because I need to clear my own conscience stuff. That's kind of what happened. On the same note, I would say on maybe like the 17th, I received a retaliation of some sort. My windows were shattered with the golf club on the front and sides. And my car was doused in gas. I'm trying to correct myself, but I guess I have to excuse the behaviors for that peace and clarity. And so that's kind of where I'm at this point. I don't. I'm just gonna maintain that and leave it at that because I tried to rectify and try to pay my homage, and that's kind of where it's at. Move forward.
Do you believe Ms. Warren was behind the,
Oh,
do you think she did the damage to your car?
I don't think she did it personally. I think either her kids did it or somebody else.
Okay, did you report it to law enforcement?
I did report it to law enforcement.
And have they determined who did it?
They did not. They just did it on their own.
Okay.
Pictures, and then I also have pictures of the envelope that I gave. It was $300.
Okay. And Ms. Warren, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
I did submit a letter. I'm not sure if you received it. Just with a timeline of events and how this stalking harassment situation with Mr. Joseph has affected me. This started in December of 2023 when we met. It was a really long and traumatic year of having my property damaged. Him coming back has been so disruptive because I am fearful of him and because my family is fearful of him. I don't want to ever see him again. I'm also worried about, he's got pretty alarming behaviors in the way that he circles my neighborhood and lurks behind the privacy hedges near my home. And I don't know what he's waiting to do. I don't know if he was coming to slash my tires again. And I am medicated for the first time in my entire life because of the stress and anxiety that this has caused. And I just want it to stop. I feel like a year was not long enough the first time for him to come back and to want to make amends after causing thousands of damage worth of damage on my property. I had to replace my 4-year-old vehicle. You know, I don't know what the escalation will be. And I mean, I'm taking measures as I just installed a 7-foot fence around the other side of my yard where he tends to lurk. And I cannot keep having this enter my life, and it affects me and my kids and my family.
And Your Honor, the lurking wasn't, it's not, I wasn't lurking now. When I went to greet her, so I kind of had to think about how to
5 year. Put one in place for 5 years, Judge. That's what he's filling out just now. Don't you worry, sweetheart. 5 years, 1,000 feet, maybe 10. Maybe a 10-year? A tenner? Does anybody want a tenner? Justin's trying to be a ghost down here. She does sound medicated, though. Very flat. You don't... Bill? Really? I'm wrong? Then Judge was fucking drugged by the old dude. Something happened. Maybe he's just gonna do 1 year because he's a pussy. That's right, Judge. That's what I said. That's what I said. Allegedly. Oh, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. I want Vietnamese food so bad. Some vermicelli noodles with some grilled pork, a crispy roll, and like the vinegar sauce, and mix it all together. Eat it with some chopsticks. Yes, please. A side of soup and a crusty roll. Oh, please? Please? Nom 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 nom. That's what I'd like to num 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 munch. Well, there's a few other things I'd like to be munching. Ooh, ramen noodles with the soft-boiled egg sounds pretty good. I guess, Paul. I guess. We can't complain about them too much because they do still post their hearings, and we like that. Oh, Courtney, I'll send you a picture. I will send you a picture of the food that I get. And I hope it will be yummy. But I haven't decided yet.
They weren't letting me back in, but they did.
Huh? Ma'am, I'm singing. Can you not interrupt me, please?
Your Honor.
Yes.
Also, I was thinking, I watched the video a couple of times prior to that. There's cars that she said that was mine. It's not mine. That was on the video. And then I never poured gasoline to her. I messed with the gas tank. So I think there's somebody else that's doing this, but it's I wouldn't pour gasoline on anybody's vehicle because that to me it initiates some form of
I'm so pale like a vampire. That's what I should dress up for as Halloween. A vampire.
Whether that allegation is accurate or not doesn't really play into my view of this, Mr. Joseph. As somebody who's previously had a protection order, Ms. Warren had made it clear that she didn't want contact from you, and then the next thing, the order expires, and then you're coming up to her sitting in her car, which could be a frightening experience when you haven't alerted her that you're going to be coming to see her. And then she clearly, you could understand how she might be frightened by that. And then the follow-up to go to her house and knock on her door when she's had this one frightening experience, and then followed up the next day by a subsequent one. It's hard for me not to see that as understanding that you have frightened her. So you may have innocent intentions, but I see it differently. It just appears like it's an attempt to frighten her. I'm going to enter the order today. You're not to go within 1,000 feet of Ms. Warren, her house, her vehicle, her children. You'd have no contact with any of them, not harm any of them. And Ms. Warren, we're going to have this order in effect this year for 2 years from today's date. We put limits on it because we can't have our law enforcement system jammed with orders that never go away. But what I'll say, Mr. Joseph, is there is a 2-year limit on this order. But Ms. Warren, and I will state this in very clear terms, does not want you to contact her ever. So if after 2 years and the order expires, you come to contact her to say you want to make amends, no, that's not an acceptable response. She's made clear. So if you do that and you have another contact with her after the expiration of this order, the court would likely enter just a lifetime order, frankly, if that is to happen. All right, we'll make copies of this order and give you each copies as well.
Are we getting a little bit more sass from Mr. 85-year-old coming up? I have a feeling he didn't leave. I do believe with my cleavage. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? There's my pen. There's my pen. Back in its home. Perfect. You almost
Can I
couldn't
ask
see
you
it.
questions? Are you able to issue a permanent no trespass on my property?
I could make the order permanent. I chose not to. Can I separate part of the order from another part of the order? No.
Okay.
You're out of heat. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Take a copy over there.
that's fine. Trespass is a crime in and of itself. You don't need an order to tell somebody they can't come onto your property if you've not given them your authority. Mr. Joseph is hearing me say that, so he understands that to come onto your property without your permission is potentially chargeable as trespass. So if he comes onto your property and you haven't given him your authority to do so, you're free to call law enforcement. That answered your question?
Yeah, and then I also wanted to ask about ordering reimbursement for the service fee and for lost wages. I've been off of work for 2 weeks, unable to leave my home.
Yeah, that is possible under the statute. I tend not to do that. And I understand you've suffered a loss here, but at this point, I'm not going to order that. If we have to come back here, then on either a violation of the order or some other request after 2 years, you can make that request again and I could reconsider it.
Okay.
Well,
Just
well,
have to wait
well.
till Kayla comes back in with the copies.
Fucking Kayla, hurry up. Kayla, you're killing me. Kayla, I'm so hungry. Judge, this is fucking savage.
Come up first.
Oh, and do you see what happens as soon as I click
Are we
it?
getting ink for the copy?
Yeah, I'm gonna get that one side.
Needs to get ink for it? Are you joking me right now? Come on. Ink-a-dink,
And
dink-a-dink.
Ms. Warren, if you'll come up first and get your copy, please. Either copy is fine. Thank you. And Mr. Joseph, if you come on up and get your copy. Thank you.
I was in my kitchen recently. I also made butter by hand. Shake, shake, shake. That was a good episode.
Donna Smith,
what
Mr.
the
Ward,
fuck?
we're done.
That's what I wanted to ask. Does this complete this thing?
It does. It's completed.
I'm old.
Yes. All right. Thank you, sir.
It's a big relief. I'm
Okay.
nervous wreck for 2 weeks, so I don't need to do anything further.
Just have no contact with Ms. Kuros or her workplace.
Sir, you have my word.
Okay.
And he scout into Mason and good truthful man that I will not contact this person or anyone at any multi-care clinic ever again.
All right. Thank you very much and good luck with your health.
Going into an MRI tomorrow.
All right.
Be a lot of fun. But I want to make sure that I can go to the emergency room. There are only 3 emergency rooms available to me. 2 of them are multi-care. I've had to go to the emergency room 3 times.
Right.
And
So I saw in the trespass order that multi-care gave you, they exempted the emergency room.
Oh, all right, sir.
Okay.
So I'm permitted to go to the emergency room.
Correct.
That would not be considered a multi-care.
Right. But only say nice things when you're there. All right. Thank you.
I've had good experience with multi-care's emergency rooms. I thank you very much
All right.
for your help and your consideration.
All right.
This is 1 year, right?
Yes.
But it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'll never go back.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
for your
Ward.
Consideration and thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Donna Smith, Daniel Kalich,
Donna and
Here,
Daniel.
Your Honor.
Ms. Smith, Mr. Kalich,
Also,
need to activate.
I will be posting more content on my OnlyFans. I've lost 25 pounds. So look for that coming up. Actually, I used to make most of my spicy content in the kitchen, cleaning my kitchen. It was like the best way to get my kitchen cleaned.
Your audio and video.
Here, Your Honor. Here, Your Honor.
Okay, both raise your hands for me. Ms. Smith, raise your right hand, please. Now that you're- Yes, thank you. Swear the testimony in this case will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
You. And Ms. Smith, you and Mr. Kalich used to have a relationship?
Correct. It was a business relationship.
Okay. And you indicate that Mr. Kalich has sort of contacted you nonstop. You said he sent you 250 texts regarding, is it payment or?
No, Your Honor. Not only did he send the 250, that was my original complaint, then he added another, I don't know, I have a total of 51 pages at this point of unwanted text messaging. It had to do with, he felt like he was in love with my niece, rambling about my batshit crazy mother. A lot of rambling. I think he needs some evaluations done personally, and I have requested that.
And looking at the nature of those texts, I was having a difficult time trying to figure out exactly what the conversation was. So you indicate it was about your niece.
And some of
Oh,
it,
her knees.
some
Her
of it was about
knees.
my niece. I think that's
And
kind
then
of,
I also saw the things about your mom.
and then wanting to take over the Weaver dynasty. Pretty
And
bizarre
what's the
behavior.
Weaver dynasty?
We have, my folks have several properties that they rent out, and I manage properties, so I have a large number of management contracts in place, and I had been hiring him to work on some of the projects we had.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
so he seems to think that it's a dynasty. I don't know.
Right, I saw the language in there. I wasn't sure if it was a television show or what it was. Okay, so I couldn't tell in the texts that had been submitted as evidence. Did at some point you tell Mr. Kalich you did not want him contacting you?
Yes.
And where in that 200, and I don't mean specifically where, but how many texts after you said no more contact, how many times did he contact you?
In group texting, let me look here.
Is group texting like
He
group
started
sex?
texting 5 of us.
5 at a
And
time.
let me look and see where
Yeah, let me see where
I
we
pretty
all
much,
fit in.
he started threatening, talking about if something happened tonight, it would be our fault because we had given him keys to a rental unit to do work. That's what began the high concern. Let's see, it would have been on the 16 pages that he sent directly to me. I asked him on October, would have been let me look for the date, October 5th. I had suggested that what he was sending me was not appropriate and that he probably should start attending some meetings. He continued with that until we hit I asked him to meet me the following Monday as I was out of town at the time. And then on October 11th, he apologized. Between the 12th and the 13th, he sent another probably 70 texts. I told him I'd meet him on Monday at the office. Then he continued with texting, and I asked him to stop that kind of behavior. I'd appreciate it if he would please stop. That would have been on the 13th of October. He continued until, I don't know, probably 7 o'clock that night. I ignored the text messages, and then he began texting all 5 in our group. Let me see if that was the same evening. I believe it was, because he went till 1 o'clock in the morning. That was on the 13th. Yeah, he started in on our group text right after 7 o'clock and then went to 2 o'clock the following morning.
Right. Okay, and then some of the language in those texts, I'm assuming you're here because you perceive the language as threatening.
Correct.
Physical harm.
Correct.
Mr. Kalich?
Yes.
Anything you want to say?
Oh, yeah. So, first of all, there's nothing threatening in there. As you can see, the worst thing that was threatening is a hypothetical that if something had happened to the 13-year-old girl tonight, then they would have been at fault, which of course she would have since she already fired me, and to put in writing that the reason she fired me was because I'm unsafe around her customers, even though I had never been unsafe around her customers, but only had at that point texted Donna some concerns of mine in a very, albeit very, foul language way. Okay. So, then I proceeded to work for, oh, and by the way, I should say, Donna, I don't actually work for her. I work for her dad. So since I have worked for Donna in the past, but since this whole episode began, I started working for her parents, and her parents paid me, her dad paid me, and then I started working for her dad and Donna's sister, Diane, and Donna's sister paid me. And currently, all the work I've been doing was for Donna's dad and Donna's sister, Diane, and which I thought was bizarre that Donna fired me since she never wasn't the one that hired me, and I don't have any contract with Donna at all. In any case, so I was upset with Donna because of first, she knew my political stances that are very, very adamantly against Trump, and she knew her parents were avid Trump supporters, and she should have known that that was probably potentially not a great situation, and maybe some discussion should have been had about it. I should have had the foresight to discuss it. I will agree with that. I thought I could get through it without mentioning politics. Now, all this to say, so everything was going fine with the Weavers till I met the Shanna, who's a 44-year-old alcoholic with 2 kids. Now, she's a very nice person, but immediately after getting involved with Shanna, then I started, she was lying to everybody about her alcoholism, which was really concerning to me, especially because it's such a close-knit family. So that meant that because I was working for all of them, I in turn was lying to all of them about my concerns about her alcoholism and covering it up. In any case, all this came to a head because of Shanna and her alcoholism, and then me making the poor decision to start drinking. And so one night I was frustrated at Donna because of getting me into this situation, especially because of not warning me about her 44-year-old alcoholic niece that was single. And yeah, so anyway, and I understand I'm an adult and I make my own decisions, but yet it seems like the communication was lacking. Now, after Donna, I texted Donna. She was away, said I'll meet you with you the following Monday. Meanwhile, I don't know what she's referring about all the texts in the meantime prior to the 13th, because if she's including texts to Shanna, that's between Shanna and myself. Okay, so the 13th, I meet with Donna in the morning, and she gives me the record of text that I had sent her, and then gives me a letter saying she fired me in writing, and it's for being unsafe around the customers. I told Donna that morning, and then she says, but we expect you to finish the current jobs you're on. Now, I know that Donna doesn't even know about the current jobs because she's not even the manager of the current jobs, much less the owner. So I thought that was ironic, but I told Donna that, Donna, you already trust me right now to go work for your customers. Otherwise, you wouldn't have me be working for your customers. And she acknowledged that, and then we moved on. Okay, so I go there, and I knew what none of the Weavers knew about this. What happened over the weekend was the renter had moved in. So I get there after this meeting with Donna, and the renters in Unit A were there, and they said, hey, by the way, there's a 13-year-old girl in the house, in the unit. And I'm thinking to myself, there is no way I'm going to go into a unit with a 13-year-old girl in it, especially after I've been fired by Donna in writing that being unsafe around customers. So even though I had a key and had verbal permission, permission in writing from the tenant, that I was the only one that knew that moved in, except Billy knew, but nobody talks to each other around here. Billy's Donna's daughter, who's the rental manager. So in any case, I knock on the door, and thankfully it's a public place. And then because, and that's the other thing that made me mad, is because nobody told me there was going to be a 13-year-old daughter in there because nobody knew, because nobody knows what's going on with the Weavers. So I was blindsided by it, but I would have used my key to walk in because the 13-year-old I knocked and the 13-year-old girl didn't respond. So I would have used my key to walk in there. That would have been, I mean, I wouldn't have done anything, but just the optics of it are not a situation I want to be in. So anyway, later on, I had outside work. I didn't enter the house. Was in contact. And by the way, okay, so I should back up. I told Donna at the meeting, the real problem was I was worried about Shanna's alcoholism. I wanted assurance from her family. They were going to get involved, put some accountability in her life because she drives regularly drunk with kids in the car. So,
Okay, so let me
Go ahead.
just get you focused here, Mr. Kalich. The complaint is that Ms. Smith says she's, in her mind, made clear to you, she wants you to stop contacting her, and yet she receives voluminous numbers of texts from you subsequent to that. Talk to
Okay.
me about that.
So what I wanted from her, and I was pretty clear about it, is an assurance. I told the family I wanted an assurance from them that they're going to provide some accountability for Shanna's drinking, because as far as I knew, she was going to be drinking and driving on Wednesday night at soccer after soccer. So when they called the sheriff on me that night, the sheriff, and I figured, well, I had left them alone during the course of the day. Then I find that I had missed a call from the sheriff. So I figured if there's a problem with the sheriff, anyway, try to be succinct. Okay. Called the sheriff back, and she said, yeah, I told them about the key policy. That was the other thing I haven't got to, that they should just be changing the locks. That should be their policy.
Just why do you keep contacting Ms. Smith? Just tell me that.
Because I wanted assurances from them that they were going to do two things. One, provide some accountability for Shanna's drinking, and two, change their policy on renters and locks and stuff like that. I'm sorry. Okay. So, and then since nobody was giving me either one of those assurances, I just kept going. And since I had not received a restraining order, which I kept telling her is really easy to do, and since they had not blocked me, and I figured they're probably at this point leaving it open so I can, because none of the stuff I had said was at all condemning towards me, but it was condemning towards them, I just kept going. And then when Donna finally said there's a restraining order, I think that was Wednesday. And then I sent one last thing. No, two things. One was an apology letter. The other was apology/explanation letter. The other was a video. And then I got the restraining order, and I was copying and pasting the letter to show a friend. I accidentally recopied it and pasted it on the same thread with the 5 Weavers, and that was the last contact. Then the sheriff called me and said, hey, you just did that. And I said, yes, you're right. I apologize. That was an accident. And I haven't contacted the Weavers since, except for the people that are not in the order who owe me money, which is Gene and Diane. So I've been trying to get a hold of them because right now this whole thing is being completely devastating, because I was scheduled to work for the Weavers for the next couple months, and then all of a sudden Donna's having this hissy fit. And so anyway, I don't have any desire to contact Donna whatsoever. And then now Billy has a restraining order against me in Grace Harbor County Court, all because of this misunderstanding that Donna could have handled by just talking to me.
All right.
Put it in place. End it, Judge. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Oh, and by the way, when I talked to the sheriff said she recommended not contacting the Weavers. I'll acknowledge that. But she also said that it was my responsibility to call the sheriff on Shanna for a wellness check for her kids. And so that's the reason I kept contacting them. Is I said, I'm going to call the sheriff as she recommended on Wednesday, unless I get assurances from you that you guys are going to make sure that she's not drinking and driving. And that's when Donna finally said to quit talking to her and that they'll take care of it. Or it's none of my business, I guess, to be more precise.
All right. Okay, listening to the two of you, it seems clear to me that Ms. Smith had made a request subtly at first, but then a bit more direct into this whole communication pattern to have you not reaching out to her. And then you felt obligated because of your belief about what you needed to do regarding Shanna.
And the advice of the sheriff, 2 sheriffs.
Okay,
Both.
but regardless, you continued to violate Ms. Smith's request. So I am going to enter the protection order. You're to have no contact with Ms. Smith at all in any form, so take her off any thread that you have. Do not send her any text. Don't include her on any text. And you're not to go within 1,000 feet of her workplace, or her home. And Ms. Smith, this order will be in effect for 1 year from today's date. If you want it renewed, you'll have to come back to court and ask for it to be renewed.
Thank you. Could we ask that he have all of our cell phone numbers deleted from his phone? Is that something we could do?
No, I can't do that. And the only person who's a petitioner on this order is you, so I can't make any order regarding anybody else if they are not a minor child of yours. And I don't think I've heard anything about any minor children, so.
None.
But Mr. Kalich understands he's not to have any contact with you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Kalich.
Thank you.
And orders are available to each of you if you contact the court.
Thanks. Oh my God, we did it. It's the end of my week. It's my Friday night. And I have to go get some things at the store. That's right. I can't even take off all my clothes and lie naked in my bed like I would like to. Oh, later. Anyways, you guys, we'll be back at it again tomorrow. Maybe we'll finish. There's another case there, but I don't have the brain power. So we will be back at it again tomorrow, probably around 2:45 Pacific. In the meantime, do me a favor, remember that I love you, and I'm proud of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye!
Ways down